So I have to apologize because the audio that you're going to be hearing in this lecture is not that great. It was my fault. I did pick the wrong audio settings before I recorded this video. And so I picked the built-in microphone, which is not good, as you will see. So I apologize again in advance for the bad audio. You still grasp the ideas that I'm trying to convey to you, but the audio is not that great. My apologies, and let's continue. Now that we have all dependencies added to our project to start using Hilt, we need to continue and create another entity. That's very important. So let's go to our package. I'm going to right click. I'm going to create a new class. Right. So this is going to be a general class. However, we are going to say jet. However, we're going to call this NoteApplication. So I'm going to hit enter. This is not a simple class per se. This is actually a very important class because it's going to extend application as such. Notice this has to be the Android app. What is this? Well, let's not forget the constructor there. So this class here extends application, which is the top level class that a project can hold, right? Because this application is the entire application. So we're extending the entire Android ecosystem per se. So to make this even better, we are going to add an annotation here. I'm going to say HiltAndroidApp like that. So we'll then need to, of course, import that. So what's happening here? Well, this gives Hilt access to the entire application. Hence, we are extending application class. So what this does, it creates a dependency container, as it's called, at the top level, at the application level. In other words, Hilt can now supply dependencies to any part of the app, which is exactly what we want. So we must append add Hilt Android as such, and this class will have to extend application like that. Right? But we're not done yet because we have to make this official. We have to go to our manifest here, Android manifest, and inside of the application tag, because this is where we register everything application related at the top level, application level, Android application level. This is where we are going to register to say that this Node application here is recognized as such, right? So I'm going to say inside here, I'm going to start typing Android like that. You can see, we'll see Android showing there. So just hit enter, and then you can see right away also that it goes and picks up the Node application right away because it knows right away that this is what's needed to be added there. So now we've registered our Node application to be recognized as a dependency container at the application level. Next thing we need to do, let's go to our main activity here. We need to also add another annotation inside here. Right at the top of main activity, we're going to say at, and we're going to say at Android, let's start Android entry point like that. Right, hit enter, and voila. So Android entry point annotation, what does that do? Well, this will identify that this is a dependency container, which means we are able to get the dependencies here. Okay, that's a very important step to do. First, we had to create this Note application and append, and then add the Hilt Android app. Make sure that we are inheriting application, the top level app, and then we had to register in our Android manifest file that Note application. And then we had to, of course, finally say Android entry point to say that this is where we are going to have access to all those dependencies. Right, this class. If you had another class entry point, then you could use that. But main activity, that's the main entry. That's why it says Android entry point. So the next thing we're going to do is let's go to our package again and right click. I'm going to create another package here. I'm going to call DI. That's the usual name that's added. DI stands for dependency injection. Inside of this new package, I'm going to right click, create a new Kotlin class. But this is going to be a special one. It's going to be an object type. So I'm going to call this AppModule. So I'm going to create a module that goes with our dependencies there, that goes with our Hilt. Why would we need this module thing that we see here? Well, modules are used to add bindings to Hilt. So in other words, to tell Hilt how to provide instances of different types. to create a room database, we would need to use a builder to create an instance of that database, because we don't want a database be created every time the app starts. Think of this module place. This is going to be a place that will add all of those bindings to Hilt, which means we're going to add a mechanism that will allow us to instantiate or to create certain dependencies, such as creating database and provide all of that. So the first thing we need to do is we can add an annotation, of course. So first is add module as such, and you can see that that was added as an import. And next, what we need to do is let's add an install in as such. Let's go ahead and import that. And then inside here, we're going to say singleton component class like this. Okay, so it's a mouthful, but let's see what this is. So if you have it over here, it's going to say it's a Hilt component for singleton bindings. So here we're just specifying the requirement. In this case, we say install in. And we're just specifying the requirement annotation by passing the class of the Hilt component associated with it. In this case, it's going to be just a singleton component, which means this is going to be the one source of truth, and we don't want this to be recreated into different instances.